So today is the 11th. Is it the 11th? I feel like it is the 11th, but I could be wrong. It could be the 10th. Today's Tuesday and I'm starting to get confused. I haven't uploaded yesterday's vlog yet because I have not gotten to the internet yet, which is fine but confusing because I don't know. And I don't know if you noticed, but I used to be like, good morning YouTube, today is, and then things went kind of bananas. And so now I'm kind of more like, what the hell? And the truth is that I knew going into this month it was going to be rough to vlog every day, mainly because my emotions and my mental health and everything is so unpredictable. So a couple of days ago I woke up, actually I think it was yesterday I woke up and my tongue, this geographic tongue that I've mentioned several times, that the dentist looked at and said was geographic tongue, was really bothering me. And in the morning it looks really like bad, and I don't know if that's because your tongue is a little swollen overnight. I remember when I had my tongue pierced, the mornings my tongue ring would be kind of tight, and they were like, well, your tongue swells at night, that's normal. So I don't know if it looks bad because of that or whatever, but it also usually, it's changing shape, so like every day it's kind of a new shape, and it looked particularly rough, and it's been bothering me. And when the dentist asked me, when I had the dentist look at it, the dentist was like, is it bothering you, does it hurt or anything like that? And I said no, and she said, okay, it's completely benign, this is what it is. Well then, when it started to hurt, like, it's actually sensitive to certain flavors, spicy food, hot food, Captain Crunch. I haven't eaten Captain Crunch, but like, you know how Captain Crunch can sometimes hurt your mouth? It like is sensitive to like rough texture. It just kind of smarts a little. It doesn't hurt. It might like, ooh, that's kind of weirdly uncomfortable, and then it might kind of tingle or smart for a second, and then it goes away. But of course, once that happens, I start to rub that spot of my tongue on my tooth, like trying to see, is it better now, is it better now, and I'm aggravating it. So I don't know, it's a weird situation, but it started to freak me out because she asked specifically, does it bother you? And I said no, and I'm like, well, now it's bothering me. Now it's 4 times, 6 times bigger than it was when I first showed it to her, and it's been 4 weeks and it still hasn't gone away. And so I was really wigging out, and I looked it up to like get some reassurance online, and instead I freaked myself out about oral tumors and stuff like that. So I made a new appointment to go back and just have it re-looked at. Just now that it's bigger and weirder, she can be like, yes, that's geographic tongue. And later in the evening, when my tongue calmed down, it does look pretty textbook geographic tongue, but I'm going to the doctor just to be sure, and that's just how that is. So I don't know. I know it's kind of crazy pants, but it is the truth. That's where we're at. Let me see. Okay, so that's where I'm at with that. So yesterday started with me really freaking myself out and getting inside of my head and being kind of on repeat and literally sitting and flipping out and just taking all of my energy not to cry, not to like really like hyperventilate or anything. So I was basically exhausted by the time I even got my day started, because I literally sat for 2 hours in the morning trying to calm myself down and telling myself that it's okay and that it is geographic tongue, and that I went and saw a dentist. The other thing that's kind of strange about my tongue right now, and you may or may not know this, is that for years, like literally, I'm coming up on my 6th wedding anniversary, and the January before I went and got married, I had some dental work done. So let's talk about, we're talking about like 7, because that dental work needed to be done for like a year and a half. So 7 to 8 years ago, one of these teeth back here broke in half. It's not the very last one, the one in front of it. Broke in half. Half of my tooth came out. Over time, it like affected the back tooth too. It was getting chipped and just falling out. I have terrible teeth. And I've had dentists tell me and doctors speculate that is because when I was born, I had terrible asthma, and I basically was on breathing treatments like 24/7 for the first 4.5-5 years of my life, and I was getting all kinds of shots and always on antibiotics. And I know the breathing treatments can affect your teeth even as an adult, and dry mouth can affect your teeth. So like I had that, and then I was on Ritalin for the attention deficit. That was the first thing I was put on. For many years I was on attention deficit medicine, which actually did give me dry mouth. So my teeth are just pretty terrible. They're always, my dentists are always like, they're clean, but they're falling apart. So anyway, plus they're crowded, which is never really good, blah blah blah. Okay, so these two back teeth pretty much were almost just like a hole. I felt like it was a hole that went straight into my gum, but apparently it wasn't. Like the base of your tooth is still there. So anyway, and it wasn't until they caused extraordinary pain. When it happened, I went to a dentist, and they were like, oh, it's gonna be $3,000 with your insurance to fix. And I was like, I don't have $3,000, so well, and I don't have credit, and I don't have anything, and so we'll just have to live like that. And I did, until it was in so much pain, and somebody was like, oh, there's this dentist you can go to. So I went to this dentist, and she was like, well, I don't think I have to do a root canal because I think your root still might be good. So instead, I'm gonna give you this medication, like I'm gonna pack it full of medication and do a temporary buildup and everything else, and we'll see if it stops hurting. Then you can come back, we'll just do a fill-in, it'll be fine. Great. Well, it stopped hurting, and so instead of going back, I just lived with a temporary situation, went and got married, lived my life. But when I was at that dentist appointment, she was like, is this tooth bothering you? Over here, down low. And I was like, no. Why? And she said, I was just wondering. And she kind of like picked up, used her little tool, and was like, your filling is falling out. And kind of was like, you can deal with that, but we need to make an appointment. Like, yeah, okay. So I didn't deal with either one of those issues. And then a year after my wedding, this filling came out. Like, just opened up a big hole. And then over the years, these things that were a temporary thing fell apart and came apart because they were temporary, and I was using them like they were real teeth. And so I wound up with basically over here where I couldn't use over here, and where like on the bottom right hand side I couldn't use my teeth, and on the top left hand side I couldn't use my teeth. So my bite got really weird, which probably caused me to have headaches and stuff now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, my bite got really weird, and I was like, ooh, this is a strange situation, you know, whatever. So when I started when I went to the dentist, I started in October. We had good insurance, we've moved. I'm like, I'm just going to use the credit card because we're not trying to keep our credit in perfect condition anymore, because we've already got the house and now we just need to kind of live our life, and I really need this done. So I went to a dentist, and she was like, you need 2 root canals and a couple of fill-ins, and we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay. So I started going and getting dental work like every week for about, I maxed out my benefits. I started in October, and I went every week until my benefits were maxed out, and it left me with, all I had to get done was the root canal on this side. Like everything else was done. So, but all of that to tell you this, like my bite is really, really weird, right? And so like when they usually like, oh, does that feel comfortable? It's like, yeah, that feels comfortable. Well, they're asking me, and I'm like, I don't know. I haven't had teeth like line up in so long. I have had to use my mouth in a different way so that I could chew like on teeth that usually don't chew, because these are your grinders back here. You bite, you tear and rip or this, and you grind back here. But I've had to kind of figure it out, and now I have teeth, and it's freaking me out. And I think that I'm biting my tongue a whole lot more than I used to. Like, it's getting bit by these teeth on the side. And I think that's because now that my mouth and my brain and everything is getting used to having teeth to actually use properly, I feel like when I close my mouth, I feel like it lines up completely differently now. And I'm a lot more comfortable, and I have a lot less pain. I have a little bit of pain like right here sometimes. I think that's just dental work settling. But like, I have a lot less pain and a lot less like headaches having to do with like my jaw. But the flip side is I keep like clipping my tongue every once in a while, and I think that has to do with the fact that my bite has changed and my tongue's not adjusted yet. So anyway, I told you all of that just to be like, so I think that my tongue could be extra aggravated. Not only do I have this geographic tongue things going on, but I think I might be extra aggravated because I keep biting it. And just to let you know, geographic tongue is not at all contagious, and it's not like a virus or anything. It's not, I don't know. I told my mom, I said, I have this thing on my tongue, and she was like, from sex? I'm like, no. And then, you know, I told somebody else they're like herpes, and I was like, no, not that. I'm not casting any kind of judgment. I think that, especially like fever blisters and oral herpes is pretty rampant. I actually believe the only reason I don't have that is because some people can be carriers without breaking out or whatever. Because my mom has that, my sister, my aunts, like everybody has it. I don't know if my brother had it. But whenever they get stressed out, they get like really bad cold sores. So I wasn't passing judgment. I was just saying that's not what this is. This is something new and different and weird. And apparently the dentist calls it geographic tongue. And it's so funny because like I'm kissing Amber and I'm like, you don't feel weird kissing my tongue? And she's like, no, it's just your tongue. The kids are like, I think it's cool. And I'm like, I think it's weird. Fun fact about it though, as we wrap this whole conversation up, is that it's actually, so geographic tongue is like its common name, but it's like an oral erythema or whatever. And I don't know if y'all know this, but erythema, the erythema nodosum, is like what I had in 2009 when I almost couldn't walk or anything for a year all over my body. It was erythema nodosum, which was these big red, well, it means hot red nodule. So they were all over my body, but this is an oral erythema, so it's like an oral red spot, which is kind of weird. Apparently, when I am under severe emotional stress, my body reacts by creating red spots. Thankfully, hallelujah, and I'll take it. I will take geographic tongue over the erythema nodosum that was all over my body in a landslide, because thankfully this is not actually painful. It's not stopping me from living my life or anything like that. Hallelujah. But in that one moment the other day, I was seriously freaked out by it. And it is just my anxiety coming and going, and it is just a bad day, which I can almost guarantee I'm gonna have if I have a good day, and I had a good day. It was just everything just kind of piled up. So I don't know. There you go. That's my hypochondria, geographic tongue, what happened yesterday conversation. So I have to put the vlog for yesterday together, and I have no idea what that's gonna look like, because I remember making a brief vlog, and I think I took a couple of pictures here and there, but other than that, it's not much of a vlog, so I don't know. And then today is just all about how yesterday's kind of sucked, so guess we'll wrap there, and I'll get back to proper vlogging tomorrow.